Well, welcome to God's grand production, a sacred look behind the curtain of your life. What you thought was random, delayed, or denied was always divinely directed. Welcome to episode 6, When You Couldn't Sleep. It was 2:47 a.m. and you were wide awake. The house was still, the world was quiet, but inside your mind, everything was loud. Thoughts spinning, hearts racing, a feeling you couldn't quite explain. You flipped your pillow, checked the time again, breathed deep, tried to pray, tried to scroll, tried to forget you were awake. You whispered, "Why can't I sleep?" But what you didn't know is that this wasn't insomnia. This was not random. This was a sacred interruption, because while the world slept, your spirit was being spoken to. Whispers from your guides, messages from your higher self, downloads that couldn't be delivered in the noise of the day. You weren't alone, you know. Heaven was present, working in the quiet, rearranging something inside you. Sometimes, God doesn't wake you to disturb your peace, but to prepare your path, because your soul was shifting. Something needed awareness, and the only time you were still enough to hear was this hour. So no, you weren't broken. You were not spiraling. You were being summoned. And in the stillness, you were becoming. So the next time you awake at night, don't just reach for distraction. Ask, what am I being asked to feel? What truth am I finally still enough to hear? Because in God's grand production, even your restlessness can be a divine conversation. See you in the next video. This was another scene of God's grand production. And remember, just because you couldn't see it doesn't mean it wasn't being written in your favor.